Good morning, everybody. This is Dolly at Good Life Gardenscapes in the Gulf Coast region, 9A. I wanted to share something with you. There's a lot of misconceptions, I think, and everybody promotes this, but I do things, when I'm planting my potatoes, I do things a little differently. If you notice, it has all the little side potatoes growing out of there. What I do is I will cut each one off and bury it individually. This potato's already been used. If you see, it's cut there. So this, what I cut off here was probably 3 potato sets or 2. I separated them, and I'm in the bed where I planted them, and you could see where each one grows to actually be a huge potato plant. So I will get potatoes out of each one of those individually, and half of these came off of probably 6 potatoes. So this is, after I cut everything off, I had put it back in the refrigerator and let new potato sprouts come out of the eyes. So those are all eyes that have sprouted new potato plants. And if you notice, they're all cut. And what I cut from these potatoes, because I ran out of space in another bed and I had to prepare another, a 4th bed. This is my 4th bed, and this is the result of each of those cut off. I'll go to a potato bed behind me. Now these were planted in February, and that's exactly how I did these. I cut all the eyes off and planted them individually, and this is the result of my potatoes. Also, this is a different kind of potato. It's a bigger potato. So the plants got really tall. And also I cut the eyes off and I planted them individually. That way when I go in my bed and I'm pulling my potatoes, if I see something like that, I say, oh, it's already got potatoes sets growing underneath there. And then I usually pull as I use until probably about June or July. When it gets really hot, I'll pull all my potatoes so they don't start sprouting. But that's 5 potatoes give me entire beds, literally, because I cut each eye individually and planted individually, and it will grow up to be a beautiful potato plant. Now, if you notice, they'll even split themselves. They'll grow 3 or 4 stems out of that little tiny piece once it starts developing. Look at that one. It's got stems, lots of them. And there's another one right there where it has plenty of stems. Oh, there's another potato. So I know when I see potatoes, they're actually potatoes that have grown. They're not the leftover potato from the potato people plant in there. So I was just sharing that with you because 3 potatoes can provide you a whole bed of potatoes. You don't need to plant the whole potato. And I had made a comment on another site. These were my leftover onions from last year. So I planted these, and you see how big they are. They're huge. I planted these in November, and some of them are bolting, if you'll see, and that's what they'll do. What I do is when I just use the leaves as green onions. It depends what the plant wants to do. Sometimes I will cut the flower off and it will grow into other onion, and other times it won't. It'll just sit in the ground and rot. So here are that's an onion that's already growing from a leftover onion. It started growing roots in the stem on the little onion. So I said, well, I keep a bed just for those, because that way I know what group of onions. This is a bed of onions that I bought in Dixondale. To me, they sell sets, beautiful sets, and this is a red bed. I ordered red, yellow, and white. So these are my Dixondale red. And sometimes I do run out of space. I have 3 beds of onion plus leftovers onions that I didn't get to eat. So that's 4 beds. And here you can see this is elephant garlic. I planted these from my own seed, which I got about 7 years ago. So each year I'll actually leave some in the ground and the corms will come up and produce the elephant garlic. You don't have to do anything to it. And this is my garlic failure. I don't know what happened. I bought a set of garlic. I put them in when I was supposed to. We had 2 super cold weeks during the winter this year. And come spring, they did not produce. They all wilted and died. So I've pulled most of them because I'll save the bulb. It only turned into a little bulb. What I did was I've already pulled those and I set them aside. So in November, I'll replant them. I won't eat them or use them for anything. I'll just replant them. So this is the garlic bed that just was a completely failure. I won't have any fresh garlic this year. But I do use elephant garlic. So it's not as potent as regular garlic. But then again, it serves its purpose. It gives my food just wonderful flavor. The carrots, these are my carrots. Only a few seeds came up. And this is what, if you see they're being eaten, I let those little caterpillars go in and eat. I don't know what kind of I don't even do research on caterpillars, but it's a beautiful striped black and green with little yellow polka dots. So I let them eat away because these carrots are producing so much foliage, it doesn't even matter. And they've actually got carrots. There's the carrot. That one's a little yellow carrot right there. So they've been munching on the foliage and I still get a carrot out of it. So I don't fuss with it. This is my main purpose for this video was the potatoes, simply because 3 or 4 potatoes can get you 2 beds of potato sets. So I just recommend that, and I've never seen anybody discuss or address that, but that's how I do it to maximize. That way I'm not buying a bunch of potatoes. And you can do your store-bought potatoes. It doesn't matter what potato it is. Cut the eyes off and you just all this stuff. Here's one. This is actually green onion. You see it's going to seed. I'll let that one go to seed. I've cut all the other blooms off because I wanted to keep giving me leaves, and that's what I use for salads, for frying up eggs or whatever. But yeah, here's another another onion bed. The dogs got into this one because what I do is I get crawfish and I bear it in there, and sometimes I don't keep the cage on long enough and the babies will come in here and start digging stuff up, smushing stuff, and I'm okay with that. You know what? They don't know any better. But here are the onions. I just tried to prop them all back up. And here's the other onion bed. These are the white onions from Dixondale, and they're doing beautifully. They're starting to form globes. So, like I said, the weather has been very good this year. Last year I had a lot of the onions just go to seed, but I cut the tops off and hoped that they were form bulbs. Some did, some didn't, but at the end of the day I still had leftover onion, and you saw the bed where I will put the leftover onion that starts sprouting. Well, have a good day. This is Dolly at Good Life Gardenscapes, and I hope I helped somebody out there. Thank you.